Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and this is back. We're back to doing the interview series, and I wanted to start out the year with some really great guys that I've interviewed in the past, and this is one of those really great guys that I enjoyed speaking to, and I have on my show a lot. He's probably the most interviewed guy on my channel, but he is Stephen Gentner, and he has a couple things to show us. Like he's got an unboxing, plus he's done some pretty awesome trading. So I'll bring him on, and we will see what he has gotten.
Hi there.
Hey, how's it going?
Fine.
So,
How are you doing?
Good. So before we went live with this or recorded, you were telling me you got some pretty interesting things from another friend, a mutual friend of ours.
I did indeed. What happened was one of the people that live in my area is Big Me McFly, the comic guy.
Wow.
And I've crossed trails with him, but very obliquely. He had a comic store in Astoria, and he had a comic store here in town, I think in Vancouver. And I think I crossed trails with him. But anyway, we've had a conversation on Instagram and what have you. And a great guy, really, a lot of fun. And so we wanted to he'd been showing a lot of Golden Age books and other books on his channel. And I said, boy, I'd sure like to, let's get together. He said, I'd love to. And so yesterday we finally got together, and he brought a bunch of books. And then we spent the evening. It was so much fun geeking out. He didn't have prices on them. And so to do this right, we went on Go Collect, and we graded the books. They're all raw. Graded the books, came up with an agreeable grade for the books. And then we looked for the prices and put it all down. And then we haggled. And then I asked if there was anything he wanted. And I will tell you the book that he got, because I'm sure, no, I'm not telling secrets, but he got A Tales to Astonish 44, the first appearance of the Wonderful Wasp.
Yeah, and you got it in a high grade too, right?
And a high grade, I would say it's close to a 9. We both thought it was a 9. And it was my number one copy of that book in my collection for the longest time. I managed to find actually a couple more that were a little bit higher grade, but that's the kind of book you hold on to. And it was something that he really wanted to get. And I said, well, that's wonderful. Let's see if we can make it. So we made the deal happen. And after that, we went to the old spaghetti factory down on the Willamette River.
Oh, nice.
And we had spaghetti dinner. And it was a wonderful night. And my wife and I were a little tired this morning. but the geekery and going through this was so much fun. It was like having a buddy. Well, it was having a buddy come over to your house and show your books, and then I'll show you my books, and we're looking at the books together, and so all that kind of. It was really fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I think it's cool when you can actually meet some of these people that we meet online. Like,
yes.
So far I've only met maybe 3 or 4 people from the people that I've met online in person. It's quite challenging. Everyone's all over the world. It's really hard to meet people in face to face.
It is, and I will tell you that the fun we had was like, it was so seriously, it was like being little kids little kids again. And says, where'd you get this? And then with the stories that went with them and all that other stuff. It was just a lot of fun.
And Big B's a really good guy. So
he's a great guy. He had done. I had commissioned him, Big B, to do. He did a Cthulhu, and
I actually get the pronunciation of this one correct.
I honestly don't know. I always go Cthulhu.
I know there's like so many L's and U's and stuff. Yeah,
I know it's dissonant, but he had finished. He had added color, and he absolutely just painstakingly worked on this thing like crazy.
Do you have that to show as well?
I actually have that upstairs. I can go get it.
it's kind of weird to like
Well, let's just that'll be for another time.
we'll
Let's
do
just
that
run with
another
what we
time. So
got.
you gotta stay tuned.
That's something to look forward to.
Okay, I'm gonna make you big, and you're gonna show some of the stuff that you guys traded.
I will.
So yeah, so
I will show the trade stuff in just a second. One of the books that we were talking that you and I were vying about was Atomic War. Was Atomic War #1,
okay.
which he still has. It was I went a little bit different direction from that, and I knew that I had a #1 Atomic War one, but it was actually a World War
World War
III
Three. Yes,
is the
World War
one,
Three.
and I was looking for it, and I kept going atomic bomb, things like that, and it wasn't where it was supposed to be. I couldn't remember it was a slab. Then I looked it up, and then I found it, and I just wanted to show this because it's Alan. It's the thing that you say you're looking for a book you can't find, and then you finally find it, and by God, it took me a while to find this, and I'm going to show it.
Yeah. I always feel like that too. Like, you spend all day searching for a book, you can't find it. Next day goes by, you can't find it, and then all of a sudden you find it, and you want to show everybody after you find it. This silly book.
Damn it! I had to look for this, so you're going to get the
You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. It's a great book. I mean, that is, whenever you're going to drop a bomb, this is just an FYI to any evil terrorists out there. When you drop a bomb, you always have to hit like some major landmark. It's like, and dead center. It's just
New York City or the capital, and this one I believe popped up on my comic shop if I remember correctly, and it was not a terribly inexpensive book, I will say, because atomic stuff after the Oppenheimer movie, I think there
went crazy.
A lot of renewed interest, and I had some of this stuff surfaced that I got quite favorably, but this one was a little more expensive. But my gosh, what a off-white pages too, and a fight. It's an Ace comic, and it says that the cover was done by a veteran artist named Lou Cameron, and he did a lot of pre-code horror and other stuff. Lou Cameron did science fiction stuff too.
Very
but
cool.
Isn't that wild?
I know, it captures the bomb. It captures all the people going like.
All
those people would be vaporized, by the way. But,
this was right before they basically went.
Yeah. So
poof.
Yeah, but it's
so anyway.
Awesome.
I wanted to start with this one.
That's great.
We had an ice storm here in the Pacific Northwest, up here in the Portland area, and everything just got frozen solid. There was no mail service. There was no nothing. And so things that I had ordered that were supposed to be delivered couldn't be, and they accumulated down in the post office. And yesterday and the day before, they finally managed to get this stuff to me. So I've got some unboxing, and I'm going to unbox first, and then I will show the other.
Okay. So wait, I'll go back here. So we're back together again. Because nobody needs to see you kind of. Yeah, usually I'm one of these people that likes to build the suspense. So when I'm recording my videos, I actually show myself like cutting and opening up the books and doing that big thing. And it's like sort of like build up that suspense, right?
You are there.
Yeah, and so we're doing that right now. We're reenacting it with Stephen being the unboxer.
Being the unboxer boy.
Yeah.
Some of these are new and some of these are old. So this will just be as they come.
And all these things are age appropriate?
If they are not, they will not make the cut.
Okay, that's
but this is age appropriate. Oh, he put it in a top loader.
Oh, nice. I always like when they do that.
It's a nice supply. You get to have a nice supply thing.
Okay, you ready to show it? Or
hold tight. Just a little bit more. I got to get some tape off of it. One thing is that they protect it, and then when they tape it down, I don't know if they figure that gremlins are going to get inside these things and move them around, and they're completely immobilized as it is.
Yeah. I actually had one guy, he put so much tape on the top loader and the tape doesn't come off the top loaders. So it actually ruined the top loader. And then I had to like throw out the top loader because it was just
Okay, I've got it.
all tapey. Okay. There you go. Oh, okay. Is that a Zerdy?
It is a this is Shikara.
Shikara. Okay.
Shikara.
Interesting. Okay. Very cool.
Isn't that a honey?
Yeah. Who is the girl?
Well, I'm thinking it's the black cat.
Looks kind of like the black cat.
It is. It's the black cat.
Okay. Very cool.
I mean,
almost looks like Black Canary almost with the stockings.
Would you rather her be Black Canary?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Okay, you're right with the stockings. You're right. It is Black Canary.
I don't know. Is it which? I don't.
I have thought about it carefully, and I will now say that it is the Black Canary.
It will. Who is it?
Yes.
We'll never know. Was it the Black Canary or was it Black Cat? Black Cat has the furry things more. You know what I'm saying? It's like, was that the Black Canary or the Black
Cat? I can check later, but
it looks like the Black Canary.
I think it's the Black Canary.
Okay. I was just saying. Don't mean to mess you up though. So they're very similar characters in some ways, but okay.
Here's number 2. This one is from David Alexander at DTA Collectibles, and that means Bill Ward.
Yeah, so I know that you picked up a bunch of Bill Ward from him, and these ones are quite nice. This is like Love Scandals #1.
Correct.
Very nice.
I closed my eyes in the sheer ecstasy of Gary's kisses, though I knew the specter of my father's sin would soon come between us.
Wow.
So we got that going for us.
Yeah, it's very cool. I mean, I just like the way he really likes the girls wearing like some tight, like fitting clothing. You know what I mean?
How do you like the little Oriental tree?
Yeah, it's really odd. Little bonsai
what do you call that? What do you call that?
Bonsai tree.
Yeah, it's Daddy Bonsai is going to come and rain on the parade here pretty quick. She's got that tight silk dress on with the gold bells or something.
That's what I'm saying. It's really interesting.
And of course, Bill Ward's the hair, he takes great pains with the hair.
Lots of lines in the hair. Yeah, it's really good. I really love his artwork. So
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here comes number 3. Oh crap!
Oh no, it's my nemesis. It's my nemesis.
It is your nemesis. Just a second. I'm gonna try to extricate these for just a second. Damn, I hate these things.
Oh man, peanuts are the nightmare for comic collectors. You know, the funny thing is, I don't know what it is with me. I try to throw them away, right?
Yeah.
And for some reason, there's just enough like dryness and static that whenever I try to throw them away, they literally will jump out of whatever it is and stick to me. And it's just like they will not leave my body. They just
and it's the static electricity. Also, when it's cold, it's cold. See, that's the killer of that.
It is amazing how those peanuts do not want to be thrown away.
They do not,
and they will stick to you and cling to you and torture you. Okay, go ahead.
Here's I watched Joe, Big Black Box Silver and Bronze.
Okay.
And he showed one here a little while ago from AC Comics that was kind of going under for this, the Scarlet Scorpion.
Oh, okay.
And so he said it's rare, and he found it at some store. And so I, because I suffer from FOMO, I do suffer from FOMO. I admit it. And this was the book that he showed. and
It's a very
he picked
interesting
it up.
one.
So I went on my comic shop, and they had a couple of copies. They're both the same, like $4.95 or something like that. So I just threw it into my cart. I knew that something else would come along, and I didn't figure it'd have a lot of people, but I got this because of Joe.
Oh, that's very interesting. I'm familiar with the AC Scarlet Scorpion, but I'm not familiar with that book.
Evidently, this was when the money dropped out, and they couldn't do 3 colors, they couldn't do anything, and it was basically a miracle that the thing finally got printed, and that was really pretty much the end of it.
Wow.
That's what he did all the research on it. That was, and then the other one that I have here. Okay. My rubber band ball is getting bigger and bigger.
I have a huge rubber band ball too.
My comic shop puts a rubber band around it, and they put the packing slip right on the top. And I said, boy, and I keep looking in my drawer, and I got all these rubber bands. And boy, I'm really must be buying a bunch of stuff.
I have a ton of rubber bands, actually.
Where's my knife? Where did I put my knife? Where's my knife? Where's my? There it is.
I'd lend you one, but it wouldn't help much. My comic shop, a little ad for my comic shop in here.
Oh,
Sponsored
yeah.
by. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, boy. I'll take it out of the bag.
So obviously a nice slab. Oh, this one. Oh, wow. Yes, this is a good one. So Space Adventures, and what issue number is it?
That's number 2.
Number 2.
It's
Wow.
Space Adventures. This is a brand new slab too. I mean, this is the brand new system on it. This has Dick Giordano art and Art Capello and John Belfi art, and this is a Frank Frollo cover.
Frank Frollo cover. Wow.
And he signed it right down there, Frank Frollo.
Okay.
I don't know Frank very well, but I do like this cover. And
it's a great cover. Yeah.
And the Frail is contorted in her red dress, without a space helmet and without any kind of space protection.
Yeah, she's toast.
That sounds awful, doesn't it? Space protection. Anyway, space protection.
You need space protection if you're in space.
Yes, you need protection in every way. The dragon is starting to basically stick his talons, these red-tipped talons,
into her hip.
Start to penetrate her right thigh.
Wow.
Isn't that an amazing cover?
Yeah, it's great. But I feel bad for the woman. I don't think she's going to be doing so well.
No, well, I think that Spaceman Spiff just basically blasted him in the neck. So hopefully that'll deter him somewhat. Space Advent. I had never seen this book before. It was, again, this was obviously in my comic shop. And it goes along with what we've been saying for so long, is that books you never see, and they continue to surface. They continue to come up. It truly is. I cannot remember a better time, a more target-rich environment for buying comics as I have been now in the last 2 years. It's absolutely, especially for me, I hit the biggest home run I had. I was trying to and managed to do that too, which, I mean, my whole life wanting to get a certain book, decades trying to get a book, which the Bat won. And I ended up getting that, but all these other things, the Caymans and the Matt Bakers, and I mean, it's just, and then all these little really cool, like this, books like this. And I finally have become acquainted with Frank Frollo. Isn't that a bit, though?
Yeah.
And the back is not, they hardly worry about any color, where they have this vibrating device that you're supposed to lie down, plug the thing into the wall, and then just run it all over your stomach.
Yeah, it's very odd.
Don't stay fat. You can lose pounds and inches early by vibrating and emulsifying your flesh.
Yeah, that works.
Let's do that.
Yeah, sounds painful.
I'll put this back in the bag. And I have one more big box to give you.
Okay.
Then we'll get into the trades.
Okay. Sounds good.
Come on. No, I'll worry about that later.
Yeah. So that's you showed me that one. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I know that title actually has a lot of really great covers, by the way. So, but that one
Well,
hadn't seen. I hadn't seen that one until you showed me it. So I thought, wow, that's really cool.
It's a funny thing how various stuff will how stuff appears.
Mm-hmm. Oh, looks like a couple things maybe.
This is a different. No, it's only one. It's only one. Wow, that's a big one.
But they really wrapped it well.
Yeah, this is not my comic shop. This is another guy.
Oh, okay.
This was off of eBay, and this was a negotiated. I did my haggle.
Oh, I think I know what this one is. Here, I'll make you big again, and you can show it.
Wow. Well, this is, as you know, I'm a World War II buff, history buff, especially having to do with the United States, in particular, World War I, which my grandfather was in, and as I wrote a book about. But the history of then going into the Second World War, and of course, the history of the comic books themselves as when the crucible of the war was occurring. So when you have these books that you are buying that are golden age and they're beautiful books, and you go, wow, what a great book, Batman this, Superman that, or whatever it is. You look at the date when those things came out, and if you just Google the date, then you find out like it's the Battle of the Bulge was going on, or the Battle of Britain was going on, or the island hopping campaign, or the Marines are going on to Saipan, or whatever it is. And that the actual mindset of the people who were reading these books and what the climate was when they were reading them. It isn't just like, gee, what a cool book, and you buy them in a vacuum. I don't. I kind of put myself in their position as when if I was there reading this book at the time, these were the newsreels that I would be seeing in the theaters or listening to on the radio in your parents' living room, listening to the radio and then reading these books. This one, the guy who had this bought it raw, had it, and he didn't want to have it cleaned or pressed before he had it slabbed. And I asked him, I said, did you actually slab this, have it slabbed? He says, yes, I did. So it's in an the book is a little bit oversized, so they had to put it in a magazine holder.
Oh, okay.
But here it is.
Oh, yes. What a great book.
And I think that the colors on this are absolutely, a lot of times you'll find this one and it's quite faded.
Yeah, those colors are very solid. So you sent me two pictures when we were talking about this book before, and one was kind of faded looking. One was what you have there,
ultraviolet.
Yeah, and very strong. Yeah.
And this one I think is somewhere between those two, edging more towards the one that was more lurid.
Yeah, this one's pretty good. The colors look really, really strong.
It has cream to off-white pages, and you can have a photo enlargement if you want.
And tell people a little bit about the octopus. I mean, that's kind of a historically significant thing.
In my studies of the Second World War, when you watch some of the films of the day when they were the propaganda films that were being done to explain, and they would have animations showing what the Japanese were doing, how they did it, and when they did it. So that basically it was educating the public as far as what was going on, how the advances were going, and basically giving a representation to make it easier for the public to understand what exactly was happening, how we were being basically threatened, and everything else. And one of the imagery that they used for Japan was that of an octopus. And they basically showed this octopus with the stereotype
Tentacles, yeah.
Japanese face there with the tentacles.
Now, is that Tojo or
this? I think this would be more Tojo than this was more Tojo than Hirohito. I think this is more Tojo.
Okay.
But they showed these tentacles in animation reaching out and then engulfing various, like a tentacle of an octopus catching its prey,
Hmm.
reaching out, expanding north, south, east, and west. And
Hmm.
then behind it, it's all black, that it's occupied territory by into the Philippines, into China,
Hmm.
Indochina, and then across to Pearl Harbor. They didn't, in other words, their effect and all that stuff. And what the Japanese called it was, they called it the co-prosperity sphere.
Wow.
What a meaningless bromide that is. The Japanese
Well, they try to make it sound good, but it's
well,
yeah.
you're in the co-prosperity sphere. We're all prospering. Who's prospering? We're prospering. So
Yeah, exactly.
so the octopus imagery is very, very much of the day. This book came out in 1944, and this is by Magazine Enterprises.
Hmm.
And so this is one that I have actually wanted for a very long time, and finally had an opportunity to buy it. And once again, and now there are copies of this that do show up. I do see this every so often. But this one had such nice colors, and then the benefit of it too was that it had just been slabbed. And worst case, if I decided that I wanted to try to make it better, if the CGC ever is a little bit more reasonable,
Hmm.
I would be inclined to uh, have it cleaned and pressed and reapply it. However, it looks so beautiful in this slab. I'm figuring I'm not going to mess with that, and I'm very happy with a fine minus.
Yeah, and for collectors, this is kind of a major book because it's got that propaganda stuff. It's got the tentacles. That's always great, but it's also a flamethrower cover, and there's some major collectors for flamethrower covers. And it's just this is just gets it all. It's a great cover. Just such a crazy cover. It
So
almost reminds me of some like yeah, I don't know. I always think it reminds me of like some space monster, and he's like fighting the space monster with the
yeah,
flamethrower.
the giant, the tentacle, but it has the Japanese flag, the rising sun as
Yeah, as the
as the bottom
carpet.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I am really, really happy with that.
yeah, it's
So
nice.
those are the ones that were unboxed, and now I have it just like when you have, is there's an enormous pile of debris over to
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah. You're probably covered in debris from all the boxes.
I managed to avoid the static electricity with the peanuts though.
Hmm.
Um, so anyway, Bigby and I went at it hammer and tong, figuratively speaking. Had a lot of fun last night, and so I got, these are the books that I traded my wonderful wasp for. And the first one I will show you is, and it's date stamp 19 October something 1950.
Okay,
Is
so
that 19? Just a
fairly
second
old
here.
book. Nice
Just a
golden age
second.
book. Now, Bigby, just so people know in the audience, Bigby has access to what he calls his honey hole of golden age books, and
Yes,
that's what I think a lot of these ones have come from. Oh, this one's interesting. Is that a Matt Baker?
I don't know. I haven't done the research on it. It's Atlas, so I doubt it's Matt Baker. It's an Atlas comic.
It's interesting.
And it has the code that went defunct even as it started. The star,
Yeah, yeah, I've seen
the
those.
one
Yeah.
that Bill Gaines, they said, well, we're going to have our own code. We have to get a code. And Bill Gaines said, let's do it. And then they all got together and they said, okay, these are the things that they're against. We have to stop. And all the stuff was exactly what Bill Gaines was doing. He says, screw this. I'm out of here. And
Yeah, exactly.
the thing blew up. And then, of course, the Comics Code Authority did come in.
Hmm.
And your wonderful expose that revealed absolutely nothing about the secret organization, which is the Comics Code Authority, how they
Yeah,
were paid, who was there, where they were, how many were, how long lead
yeah,
time was, how big of an organization.
yeah. I mean, it's like the Illuminati or something. It's like
Yeah,
some
I mean,
weird.
it's the Illuminati, the Star Chamber. But
Yeah.
this one is pretty, I really like this one because this is the commie. Okay, commies, this is it. End of the line. And it says, when are those blasted Reds going to learn they can't break through our lines just because we're outnumbered?
Well, that's
This
very
is
cool.
this is Korea right during it with the stars and the guy, the Thompson, taking them out.
And it looks like a fairly high grade too, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Tales of War. and then the sort of ubiquitous title, Kent Blake of the Secret Service.
Yeah.
This looks the Secret Service.
Hmm.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first one.
Okay.
Now we go to we're still with war. One of my favorite titles in the DC top 5 war books is my very favorite is GI Combat, but my second favorite is Our Army at War, and that's
Okay.
because the Hammer of Hell, Hans von Hammer, the World War I enemy ace, comes into Our Army at War, and then the Unknown Soldier and what have you. But before that, it was Sergeant Rock was in here.
Oh, okay.
And here is one that you very seldom see, and this is the roster cover.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
And this is a big 10 cent, which means then they have the smaller 10 cent, and then it's 12 cents. But the big 10 cents sticker, but this is I had heard about this. I had never seen a copy of it, and this is a black cover. It's a very nice copy.
Yeah, it's very cool. I like when you can see like all the major characters and you get like sort of a, they're all titled as well, so you know who's who, and yeah, it's very cool.
Now, one of them that I don't see in here because this is earlier. This is Jensen is Little Sure Shot, which was the American Indian,
Oh, okay.
because he's in there too. And of course, they have Wee Willie has the BAR, and of course, Bulldozer is gigantic. Ice Cream Soldier, and Junior, but all the rest of these guys, I don't recognize them.
Oh, okay.
But that's the rest of the Combat Happy Joes of Easy Company. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, very cool. So far, 2 good items.
I'm still with war. It's war pretty much all the way.
Okay.
This one is which Famous Funnies has some beautiful science fiction covers, the Frazetta Famous Funnies and stuff. But Famous Funnies had all kinds of other really cool stuff, and Famous Funnies goes way back with all the cartoony stuff. And I've never seen a Famous Funnies book that is like this.
Oh, yes, I've seen that one. It's funny. Actually, I bid on that one on Heritage. They had that one. I was like, oh, that's a really cool cover. And it actually it went fairly high. I think it was like $300-400 that it went up for.
This is about as offensive a stereotype of the Reds, of the Koreans or the Red Chinese, because the Red Chinese.
I think it's the Red Chinese. Yeah, it looks like the Chinese.
Yeah, it's Red Chinese, and the way that they make them. I mean, they make them, and again, here we have Famous Funnies, and I'm surprised they even did this, but they have the ACMP stamp and star as well.
Yeah.
For the Dita Borning Code. Isn't that interesting? So that puts you like 1952, 1953 is where you got this.
Right at the height of the Korean War.
Well, the 53 was right at the end of it. So,
yeah.
But this is issue number 205 from 1953. So it must have been early 1953.
Yeah.
But you look at my goodness, unbelievable but true. Mr. Tom Terrific. What is it? Tom Terrific? Tom Terrace, the Vagabond Adventurer, the Temple of the Living Dead. And this is a Mike Roy cover. I'm not familiar with Mr. Roy, but boy, oh boy, what a cover. And the pink, the colors on this just absolutely sing.
Oh, yeah, very nice.
Very crisp. There's the cover strike on this is 1 inch thick.
Wow. Very nice.
Okay, I showed you one United States Marines with the flamethrower. This is United States Marines number 8, and this is from 1952, again, still during the Korean War.
Okay.
And he is shooting the man through the body.
Yeah, it goes right through him, actually. Wow. And this is before the code obviously came into play.
Yes. Well, 52, 54, September of 54, and then October of 54 were the first covers for the code. Wow. But here's something that's interesting. They have the padded uniforms, which is what they wore, the sort of the peasant garb that the Koreans wore.
Wow, that's crazy.
Isn't this something? I had
Yeah,
never
I
seen
mean,
this one before. What does it say over here? 10 cents.
literally blows a hole right through his stomach.
Yeah, he's basically shooting right through them. I'd never
Wow.
seen this one before. And you'll notice the guy up above that's coming in with the bayonet ready to go, with the sun shining off the sharp tip that he's going to try to hit the gyrene with.
Wow. Pretty crazy.
Isn't that something?
Wow. That's a cool one. That's very cool. And that's so
Authentic
now you have that part of that set. Two books from the same book set.
total. The octopus cover was by design. This was total. All of these are total serendipity. And again, this is my wonderful wasp went away for this.
Mm-hmm.
One of my wonderful wasps.
Mm. It's good that
Here
you have
is
access.
here is another one I'd never seen before. We're still fighting. This is V1 number 7,
Doesn't mean
again
anything.
from 1953.
Oh, Fighting Man. Okay.
And he is firing right into the mouth of that red Chinese guy.
Wow. Wow, that is
I had never seen
crazy.
this. And he's actually, the rifle he is shooting is the approximation of a Browning automatic rifle, a BAR.
Wow.
And the soldier is saying, "It was my buddy you just put a slug in, you punk. And that's a score that'll take me a long time to settle, but I'm starting right here. Take this."
Wow.
Isn't that gruesome? And the colors on this are absolutely, I mean, like neon. They're so bright.
Yeah, very, very interesting color choice. Like the pink, almost like a pinkish color, and then the greens and yellows. It's very interesting.
And you have an F-86 coming in around the corner at one of those early jets.
Mm-hmm.
And and then there are all these guys that are rolling sixes down underneath here.
Wow.
All that stuff going on over there on the other side is just them getting killed in explosions.
Wow. Very, very graphic cover.
Thrilling battle adventures, The Fighting Man, and this is number 7 of the title. Now it says Fighting Man, but the title is V1, like V-1.
That's very odd. Yeah.
I'm still in the war.
Okay.
This one is another Atlas comic, and this one is a remarkable study. And the cover artist was Matheny. Let me look just to see here, just to check. Joe Manley. So this is a Joe Manley cover.
Okay. Oh, spy cases. Okay.
Look at the guys tunneling under. The Reds
I
are
know.
tunneling under, coming up to get them. Here, our guys are dying, and their guys are dying. The Thompsons taking these guys out as they're coming up the hill to try and get them. You got the Jets swooping down, and they've got them on all sides, and there are just 2 guys left. It's all she wrote for our boys here. This is their last stand, and they're taking them out, and this is the end of it.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
That's amazing cover.
But the tunneling underneath part.
I like the tunneling part. That's the cool part for me.
Isn't
because
that
they actually did do that. I mean, they did.
Oh, no question.
Yeah. The Japanese were known for
spider holes. They had these spider holes that they would do this. The Vietnamese did the same thing, and they had these guys that would go down there with a 45 and a flashlight, and they called them tunnel rats.
Wow.
God awful. The guys in the Nam. I knew a fellow that actually did that.
Wow,
that he,
that's crazy.
and all those poor fellas from the Nam who came back just absolutely and were reviled by the public. I was age appropriate for that to happen. I was just a little too young. And then when the last draft, and I was in the last draft, and I had a very high number in the draft, and so I didn't go. And Nixon ended it when I was a senior in high school, when my number came up in the draft. So it was very personal and the treatment that our soldiers got after serving their country coming back home was absolutely abhorrent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was
It
kind of
it
sad.
it
They
just
got
it was
they got
terrible.
screwed on both ends, both basically. They got
No,
screwed to
here
go over
they
there,
did
and then they got screwed on the way
they got
back.
they have PTSD, they have all
Mhm.
kinds of psychological and emotional problems, many of them. And their thanks for that was to have people spit on them and all that other stuff. I
Mm.
mean, it really was a bad, bad time.
Mm.
On a lighter note,
On a lighter note, let's get some more comics out.
um, the Golden Age, we start to get a little Golden Age action here. This is a comic called Liberty Comics,
Oh, that one's an interesting one. I like that cover.
and this is issue number 10.
That's very nice.
And inside you have uh, the Hangman, you have the Shield. I think there's Bullet Man in there too. So it's Fawcett
Oh
stuff.
wow! But
And
it's
not
Liberty
Fawcett. There
Comics.
was no. I think there might be Fawcett, but it's MLJ Interior.
MLJ, yeah, yeah. Okay, that's cool. I have one Liberty Comics in my collection. I think there was a warehouse find of it or something because I always see it in high grade. It's the one where the guy's in the tree and the bird's swooping down onto him.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I am uncertain who the guy is with his gabardine suit or whatever it is, carrying the frail and the gold orange dress.
Mm.
The green faced sort of Dracula guy and the hero, who I also don't know who he is,
Yeah, but it
coming in.
looks cool.
But he looks cool coming in to save the day with the sort of semi castle behind them. Anyway, isn't that a fun?
And I
And
like the big moon too. I always like moon covers, like where it's a big moon in the background. I always think
yes,
it looks good.
but this one has basically bone white pages. They're absolutely white. I don't know where this thing lived, but it was in a cool, dry, dark place because the colors are absolutely vibrant, and the cover gloss that there is, such as it is on the trade dress, and so it looks kind of glossy on the trade dress, but the balance of the cover is more mute on
I mean,
that.
it looks like it's in
Uh,
really high grade. Very nice.
so Wonder Woman appeared both in Wonder Woman comics, and her first cover appearance was in Sensation Comics #1,
Hmm.
which you have a copy of it, Alan, which a lot of people don't, which
Hmm.
is the feather in your cap.
Hmm.
Uh, this is Sensation Comics from All American. All American Publications was the sister organization with DC Comics, with actually National Comics.
National Comics,
Uh,
yeah.
and then what happened was, but they said DC for Detective Comics. And so they merged in the mid 40s, mid to late 40s. And before All American basically was absorbed by DC, I mean, both of them to become DC Comics, All American had their own logo that they came up with. All American was using the DC logo anyway, and they did that because DC was more recognizable than All American was. And so, but All American wanted to have something to distinguish itself prior to absorption. And so, the last few months or so of All American's existence before it was absorbed had the All American logo. And All American had the Flash, Wonder Woman, they had Green Lantern.
Hmm.
They had any number of really good characters, but those were all American characters. But here is the cover of Sensation #45,
Oh, nice.
and
And it
it's
has
the
the little All American thing above her head. I see that.
and that there is the logo that they came in All American Publications with an A and an A that to fit the thing. And their price stamp also is very much in keeping with that, so there's sort of coordination between the two. And
Hmm.
this is an H.G. Peter
Peter.
cover,
I
which
always
is,
want to say Peters too, but it's Peter.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's Peter. And the thing about H.G. Peter, and I came to enjoy his art, is sort of an acquired taste because
Oh, very much.
the animals are all kind of lumpy and bumpy. It's very much fantasy. It's very, very much fantasy driven. Of course,
Hmm.
Wonder Woman and all of the ladies on Paradise or Themyscira or whatever it is, the island, and No Men and the Magic Lasso and Bondage and the bracelets and all this other stuff. And this one is relatively early because she still has her very stylized boots with the white flip up at the top, and she's wearing her shorts where
Yeah,
she
the bell bottoms, or what I'm not sure what they're called. What are
the
they
blue and
called?
white shorts, yeah.
The
And it would appear that
bloomers. Yeah.
the Etta Candy girls or things of that girls of that nature are here. You'll notice how much effort H.G. Peter put into the saddle and the
Yeah.
saddle blanket, and he puts glows onto the lasso of truth. And she is
Hmm.
Wonder Woman is a very nice image and a very lovely and unusual color scheme and backdrop.
Wow. Very
And
cool.
this is from 1945.
Very nice.
Number 45, September of 1945. And September of 1945 means this was out probably in August of 1945.
Hmm.
And in World War II, in September of 1945, September 2nd, the instrument of surrender from the Japanese occurred in Tokyo Bay aboard the USS Missouri battleship. And General Douglas MacArthur, officiated the signing of the document for the Japanese officials to end World War II.
Nice.
So this was just before the end of the war.
Mm.
So those are so far. I have one more to show you. We are back into an Alex Schomburg cover that is quite rare. Alex did work for Timely. Alex did work for Standard Nidor. He also did work for MLJ Archie kind of stuff when he had the Captain Freedom and some of that stuff. He did work for Whitman. He did some Gaiety covers. He did astrology books. I mean, Alex really got around and has a wonderful body of work. But while he was working for Archie MLJ, the Green Hornet was where he was and he did a few covers. And here is truly one of the rare ones. This is the only copy I've ever seen in person of this book.
Hmm. Yeah, it's one I've been trying to chase for a while too,
And
actually.
here is the what's going on. The Japanese are causing a real problem. They've got a parade with airplanes and troops and everything down below, and they're about ready to drop a girl in a red dress on a blockbuster bomb on them. And because it's a Japanese bomb, Alex put blockbuster on it in English so that there would be no question what we got going here,
Hmm.
which is what he always would love to do.
You love
Um,
labeling stuff.
yeah, and he says, buy war bonds, this giant banner that all the people in the parade couldn't see because it's pointed up. I guess planes
Mhm.
flying by would see that it's for buy war bonds.
Wow.
The Japs' treacherous plot.
Very nice.
Also, the story behind the cover is the Japs' treacherous plot. Also in this issue, the Spirit of 76. Alex, Alan, your favorites, the Twinkle Twins are here. Your favorite, and of course, the Zebra is in here.
Oh, all major characters. Okay.
So the flagpole on top of the building, the Green Hornet, and the thing on his mask is a Green Hornet.
Yeah,
That's
he always has
part of
that little green
that's
hornet thing
part of
on it.
his costume.
Hmm.
She's disheveled, and there is a good girl, damsel in distress, a la Schomburg, and then everything like a Japanese guy in a suit would have this gigantic rising sun banner right on his suit as he's walking around, presumably in New York City.
Yeah.
No one would ever notice him. Would you think?
Yeah.
No one would ever know. And this guy's about to cut the rope for that, and the Hornets popping them really good. The hatchet's falling out of his hand. And they always had the Japanese with the Thompsons, and then you've got a skyscraper set, another building back behind. This is the kind of detail, and then this other, and where Kato is, the building he's on is on fire. What more
Oh
can you
wow,
throw in?
yeah.
What
Lots of
more
stuff
can you
going
throw
on.
into this thing?
I know it's
Building on
got so much
fire,
stuff.
blockbuster bomb, parade going on, Thompson's lady on a bomb. That's Schaumburg.
Yeah, so much action and details. It's really great.
So those were all my trades. Those were all my trades, and that's my unboxing. I look forward to hopefully getting together with Bigby, and we could do a little more horse trading. He had some stuff that he didn't bring with him, that he said, well, next time, if we have a next time. I said, of course we'll have a next time. And then he will come by, and we'll probably do a little more haggle. He found some other books in my collection that he wanted. I have duplicates of, that he was interested in. So I'll be able to probably work a little on that.
It's always good when you have stuff that you can trade. So yeah. So actually we should wrap it up.
Okay.
But I really appreciate you, doing the unboxing and talking about the trades and going over all the history. I really do enjoy that.
It's my pleasure, totally.
I hope everyone that's watching enjoyed it as well. If you enjoy seeing what Stephen brings to the show, you can actually check him out on Instagram, and the link to his account on Instagram will be in the description. So check that out. Check him out on Instagram. He's got some pretty great stuff there and does a really good job of explaining the comics on Instagram. So definitely check that out.
Collecto6.
Collecto6. So again, thanks for coming on again, and we'll do this probably another 1,000 times more. And then
thank you, Alan.
Yeah,
thank you.
But thanks again. Okay, bye for now.
Bye-bye.